this was interesting, and I didn't fully realize this, but when I interviewed D.L. Hughley last time, what he told me is that when he was coming up, he said Robin Harris was the epicenter of the black comedy explosion.
Robin was the center of, he started the beginning of what would become this explosion of black comedy. Robin
Really?
Harris.
You would
Yes.
put Robin Harris at the epicenter of that?
There's no question.
Wow, I've never heard this before, but obviously you know.
Of course.
Wow.
There's no question he started. And the only reason that Russell Simmons got Def Jam is because Michael Williams, who had the Comedy Act Theater, wouldn't do it.
Huh.
He thought it was very short-sighted at the time, and this is not me speaking out of school. If Michael had have done it, it would have been a different thing. And that comedy exposure started in the West at the Comedy Act Theater, not in New York, but because because Michael didn't do it, Def Jam got on, and the Comedy Act Theater was kind of a replica of history. But Robin Harris started this comedy explosion.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, Russell Simmons will actually tell you the same thing. I said, okay, hold on. So I FaceTime Russell Simmons, and I put him, on the phone with DL, and Russell completely co-signed this.
Yeah, Robin was the reason that we did Def Comedy. And he's the inspiration. I've seen some comedy shows, and it was just starting to come into my concert. I wasn't as focused on it as, of course, Bob Sumner was. But then I went and saw him in Crenshaw. On Crenshaw, I was like, I got to do a show. He was so good that when I left, I was determined.
Yeah, especially here in LA, back when the Comedy Act Theater was a thing. I mean, that's where that was his arena. That's where he would hold court. And one of the famous sayings was that when he was on stage, and if you knew that theater, you had to literally walk past the stage and up the steps to get to the bathroom. And I'm telling you, there were more fucked up bladders in that building because you didn't want to walk past him. You could not get to the bathroom without being a target. So, back in the day when Comedy Act Theater was booming, Robin was the dude.
I never realized that because since I never was part of this whole scene, I was living in the Bay during this time. I wasn't coming to LA. I would just see Robin Harris doing like House Party.
The movie,
Do the Right Thing.
Uh-huh.
But these were all like small parts, relatively. You see what I'm saying? Not to say they weren't impactful parts, they were.
Oh, well, listen, it's one of those tragic what ifs. Because if he hadn't died, he was on the tarmac waiting for clearance from Tower Control.
Huh.
He was on his way. Really? Absolutely.
But he had some years. It's not like he died right when he started to get known. I mean, he had some years.
Yeah, a lot of people got a lot of years. You don't know when you're going to pop. You know what I mean? Be in the business forever. Bernie Mac, when he popped, was well into his, 50s?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Bernie been around for a minute.
No, look, I haven't met a person who does not show total respect for Robin Harris.
Yeah.
When I speak. And in fact, when you talk about the walking past the stage, I've interviewed two people, and I've never heard this before from any other comedian, that would actually throw their outfits away because of how badly Robin would clown.
Oh, Robin would destroy you.
John Sally had a pink suit on. He said, look at this motherfucker, a big Pepto-Bismol bottle.
Right.
He said he went home and threw the suit away.
Yeah.
Back when I first wanted to do comedy, man, this is '87, and I'm just gonna go to comedy. I go to see Robin Harris. I think I tell the story. I got on a pink outfit, all right, pink shirt, linen, pants go with it, and I walk in, and Robin Harris said, "Look at that tall bottle of Pepto-Bismol." Glad I got up. I had rented a Rolls Royce too. I walk outside in Leimert Park. I get in my Rolls Royce. I drive back to Central City. I throw that outfit in the garbage.
What's his name? Faison Love.
Right, who voiced Robin.
Yeah, who voiced him, right, exactly.
Yeah.
He said he was wearing some cowboy boots or something, and he said Robin trashed his boots so bad that he went out in the back and threw them away.
My first all-black crowd was with me and Robin Harris. He came down to host, just for people who know who Robin was. This comedy, I think it was Bees, some little rinky-dink place, held about maybe 40, 50 people. And I had some red shoes on, some red boots. And he talked about my boots so damn bad when I got on stage. I went downstairs and took the boots off and threw them in the trash. I was like, man, don't ever let me buy no goddamn red boots.
Let me tell you something. In the 90s, the comedy scene in Los Angeles, between Comedy Act Theater and Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store, Comedy Store Fat Tuesdays was like Studio 54 for comedy. I mean, and if you know anything about the Comedy Store, you know, there's the main room, which is the biggest room. There's the OR, which is the second biggest room. And then there's the belly room, which is the tiny room. When I tell you, you couldn't move in that motherfucker. I mean, elbow to elbow. The hallway, that one little hallway, it was, excuse me, and I mean some of the baddest bitches in LA every Tuesday night. Eddie Murphy, Prince, the who's who of celebrities, athletes would come through that motherfucker. It was insane.
Wow.
I put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers, nigga, in the pussy department in the 90s.
Oh, because you were performing.
I was on Mad TV. I was in my 20s. I was 30 pounds lighter. You know, I was killing on stage. I was a bad motherfucker. I'm still a bad motherfucker. I just got to get my weight back.
What do you think was the craziest groupie experience you had during that era?
I'm gonna be quiet on that.
You gonna be quiet?
I'm gonna be quiet on that.
Ah, man.
Yeah. Certain things you should keep to yourself.
Well, didn't you and Michael Jai White date the same girl?
No, she was my girlfriend for 4 years, and then once we broke up, she dated him afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he had some runs back in the day.
I'm sure about it.
Oh, let me tell you, he has told me stories about some A-list actresses who are totally fucking crazy.
Yeah, well,
based on stories that he's told me, who I can't mention.
Lose the actress. She's a woman.
Yeah.
That falls under crazy. She just happens to be an actress.
Just happens to be an actress.
Yes.
No, I mean, actresses, names that everybody knows about.
Right.
During that time. And look, I mean, Michael was, fresh off the block, and, he was basically fresh meat to these women.
Yeah. As a man, I'm not going to describe another man as fresh meat.
Well, that's the way he described himself.
Okay, I'll let him do that. I'll let him do that.
I didn't describe him as that. He described himself as that in our interviews. You know what I mean? But that was kind of no Diddy-ish, so I guess I'm going to have to hold that. No, but he basically said how he's basically like almost raped by some of these women. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, man, Mike has always been in tip-top shape.
Still
He's
is.
an incredible martial artist. And then you throw in fame and some movies and money on top of that, it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
Yeah.